Got a very important warning from the word of the Lord today. In 1 Kings 13, if you go and read it, you'll see there's this king named Jeroboam, Jeroboam, right, that led God's people into apostasy, set up golden calves for them to worship, all this idolatry, witchcraft, wickedness, all of that stuff. Yeah, he led God's people into that, right? And back in 1 Kings 13, God sends this prophet to warn him and to let him know, hey, listen, the body and the blood of these men are going to be on your hands if you continue this nonsense, because the house of David will stand. That is my will. And I am, when God puts his will into something, don't stand in the middle of it. So he tries to get this man seized and his finger withers up. And then he turns around and asks the man to pray to God for his hand to unwither. And it does. But he doesn't turn from his wicked ways. He keeps going a million miles an hour forward. But that's not where the warning is. The warning is if you go a little further, right, there's a young prophet that comes along, right? And this young prophet is told by God to go and to declare his word and to declare judgment, right? And then to not eat or drink anything and to leave, right? This is what this prophet is told to do. But instead, he prays, God unshrivels his hand. He does. The king tells him, hey, come back. I want to give you a reward and all of that, right? He tells him, even if you give me half of everything, I can't, because this is what the Lord told me. So he knows what the Lord said. And then he goes on about his business. But then later on down the road, he runs into another prophet, an old prophet, an elder prophet, right? Because this man heard what he did back there by his sons. And then his sons ran and told him. So he went looking for him and he found him sitting under a tree and asked him, hey, are you this guy that just went and declared the judgment? And he's like, hey, yeah. He's like, well, come back and eat with me and all of that, right? He says, no, the Lord told me not to do that. I can't do that. And then the old elder believer who's like him, right, who's he's familiar with, lied to him and said, well, an angel of the Lord came and told me that you should come and do this, right? So what's this man do? He doesn't consult with the Lord. He doesn't any of that. He goes and traipses his butt on back there and eats and drinks and he's merry. But then this old prophet suddenly looks at him and says, well, guess what? The Lord descended on him and he had to speak it out, and he lets him know, listen, you went against and defied the word of the Lord when he told you not to eat or drink or go anywhere else. And now you're not going to be buried with your ancestors. You're going to be basically going to die in a foreign land. And so the dude is like, dude, you brought me here, but whatever. So he saddles up, he leaves, and then lion hits him, right, and kills him. And when the lion kills him, he stands there with the donkey and the lion, and they don't bother the body, the animals don't. And then the man goes and gets him and buries him and then tells his son to bury him with him. There's more to the story, but read it. But the warning is that whether it's the apostle, the minister, it's identifiable. The wheat and the tares come up together. There's goats, right? There's sheep, right? And then the wolves come in, and the wolves are dressed like sheep. Or sometimes the person is just in their self and in their fields, and they want to meet somebody or be around somebody or talk to somebody or whatever, and they tell a lie, and the lie leads to other things. Or it's just a test from God across the board, but it cost this man his life. So make sure you're listening to the Lord first, and then let everything else fall into place, and use the word of God as your anchor if you get confused. Have a good day, everybody.